Hi guys, it's Lucy O'Sullivan back for another Workout Wednesday, and today we're going to do the core reset. Today all you're going to need is a core balance wobble cushion, a ball, a tennis ball, golf ball, whatever you have to hand, but some kind of ball, and a resistance band. So the first thing we're going to do today to check that your core is working properly, little fun fact, your core is actually every single muscle in your body, from your neck, front and back, all the way to your elbow, front and back, all the way to your knee, so front and back. So all of this is your core, so not just your abs. So we need to check that your core's working properly, and we're going to use a ball first. What I want you to do is pop down on the floor, and we're going to go into a Superman. So have your hands on the floor, directly underneath your shoulders, and your knees directly underneath your hips. From there, you pop the ball onto your back. You want to make sure that your back's not arched or the ball will fall off. And you don't want your back too curved or the ball just sits in the curve. So make sure your back is nice and flat so the ball can wobble. And all I want you to do for your first exercise today is just extend one arm out without the ball moving, and then extend the other arm out without the ball moving. Now, sometimes if your core's not strong, you might do this and wobble and the ball will fall. So you want to make sure that the ball stays nice and still. Once you've done level 1, you can move to level 2, which is opposite hand, opposite leg. Make sure the ball doesn't move, come back in, reset, check your core's still on, and then do the other side. And you want to try and do these about 10 times, so 5 each side just to start, bringing it back in, making sure the ball doesn't move. And that's your Supermans. So the next exercise, just to check that your core's working properly, to make sure that your ribs are tucked in, we're going to do what's called a dead bug. So I want you to lie down on the floor. From there, you should not be able to get your hands underneath your ribs. You should push your ribs down and tilt your pelvis into the floor. That is your core on, it's engaged. So this is what I mean by squeezing your stomach in. Imagine someone's punching you. So push your ribs down into the floor, lift your knees up and keeping those ribs down on the floor, and point your hands up to the sky. Now, this is really good for coordination as well, good for archers to get your brain engaged. What I want you to do, level 1, drop one arm down without anything else moving, come up, drop the opposite arm down without anything moving. Now, if your core is not very strong, you might arch your back and tilt your hips, but we don't want that to happen. We want you to keep your ribs down. The second part of this exercise is opposite hand, opposite leg, just like with the Superman. Just go as far as you can with the leg, coming back in, and then you swap sides. And always return to that center position. Out, center yourself, reset that spine, and out. The next exercise we're going to do, obviously, is the plank. Now, planks are so beneficial for the core because they work, as I said, the core is your neck, to your elbow, to your knee. It's all of the muscles in the front and the back of your body. So the plank gets all of those muscles going. So level 1, I just want you to do it on your forearms. Pop onto the floor, push your hips, push your knees back, squeeze your feet together, squeeze your bottom, squeeze your shoulders. And again, imagine someone's punching you in the stomach. You're keeping everything nice and tight and steady. If you wanted to, you could go into a high plank. So that's hands underneath your shoulders and the same thing, and just hold in there. Now, there are so many different variations of the plank. You could do the tripod, which is feet apart, hands together, and touch opposite hand to opposite shoulder without your hips moving, or with your hips moving as little as possible. And one of my favourite variations at the moment is with the wobble cushion. So you can get these online. They're pretty cheap, and you just inflate them yourself, and you can do single leg balance on them, you can do shooting on them, anything you want. But if you want to improve your plank, pop your forearms on there or your hands and just hold the plank. The next exercise, which is so important for archers, is the side plank. It's really quite similar to archery, so it gets your shoulders strong and it gets you in that position. So we're going to start at the basics. If you're not very strong with these, all I want you to do is go along a straight line, pop your elbow on the line, pop your hip on the line, and pop your feet on the line. Now, level 1, you can just keep your knees on the floor, one leg in front of the other, and lift up. Level 2, you can have one leg on the floor in front of the other and lift up knees. Level 3 would be popping that foot on top of the other, making sure that your hips are forward the whole time and you're squeezing your stomach in. Another variation of this would be to go onto your hand, so a high side plank. So again, you'd start with one foot in front of the other, and if you're feeling good, pop the other one on top of it. From there, you can open up and hold. If you're feeling very, very good and very strong, what you can then do is extend your leg. So the next thing we're going to do is some crunches. Now there are so many different variations. The difference between a crunch and a sit-up is with momentum and you come up so your thighs touch the ribs. With a crunch, you keep your ribs off the floor the whole time. I like to do it with my clients where you touch your knee and then your hands go above your knee. So a crunch is just a much smaller movement than a sit-up, which people tend to yank their necks. So if you feel safe doing a sit-up, please do. But crunches, I would do them like this. The next level of crunches would be with your knees up, and then you can bring your forearms, your elbows up to your thighs. And this just ensures that you don't use your hip flexors, you're just using your abs. And the last variation of a crunch, what you can do is grab an elastic band and you can loop your legs in and out, crunching that body together and out. We're now going to work the side of the abs. So this is your obliques. We worked the core at the start and now we're just focusing in on the different parts of the abs now. So we've done crunches, the top of the abs. We're now going to do the side of the abs, the obliques. With this one, you can use a cushion, the wobble cushion, or just an ordinary cushion. Level 1, you would have your feet on the floor, touch the floor to one side and then the other. Now remember, your core starts at your jaw. So you need to turn your jaw with the abs to ensure that your core is working properly. Level 2, feet off the floor. I like to link my feet, but that's just my personal preference. The last thing we're going to do today is really focus on the lower part of the abs. So anything to do with your legs moving away from the center of your body is going to work the lower part of your abs. Easiest way to do it would be with flutter kicks or leg lowers. So what you need to do is just pop yourself on the floor. Just like with the dead bug, you want to push your ribs down. To assist your ribs being down, I tend to fist up my hands and just pop them underneath my hips. And then all I want you to do is lift up your legs, lower one leg at a time, and then the other. And then you can make this a little bit faster, but making sure that your ribs stay on the floor the whole time. If you're feeling good, you can do both legs at the same time. Now, if your back starts to arch, don't go that low. So only go as low as you can resist your back arching. Thank you so much for joining in today. I really hope that your whole core has been reset. So remember, we worked on the core, so everything from the jaw to the elbow to the knee, front and back. We reset that using the Supermans and the dead bugs, and then we really focused on some core work using planks and side planks, and then we went into some ab work, some upper abs, obliques, and some lower abs. Let me know how you get on, and I'll see you next time.